What's up, y'all? You may be asking the question, what is landrace gardening? It's been made popularized by Joseph Lofthouse, and we're going to be answering that specific question today. Let's do this. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dirk, and if you've never been on this channel before, it's all about tips and tools so that your garden and homestead can thrive. All right, y'all, before we jump in, I do want to give a little precursor. I'm not a horticulturist. I have not studied plant breeding. And so if you're really wanting an in-depth explanation of landrace gardening, plant breeding, then I would highly encourage you to go get Joseph Lofthouse's book, Landrace Gardening. Very phenomenal. And so I just wanted to say that up front. And if you're wanting more of that in-depth study, go buy his book. All right, y'all, so I'm going to put landrace gardening basically into layman's terms. And essentially, the main premise of landrace gardening is the idea of the survival of the fittest. So landrace gardening is all about local seed saving and plant breeding to essentially produce a very locally adapted seed that can not only thrive, but can be highly productive within certain geographical areas. Before I can dive further into the idea of it, I've got to give you a little bit of a history lesson on the industrialized seed company system. So basically, for the past 10,000 years, agriculture has survived without seed companies. And so basically what had happened in the past 60 years, industrialized seed companies began to arise to the forefront of providing seeds to gardeners and farmers. And so this eliminated basically farmers and gardeners from saving seeds and saving their best seeds from the previous season. And so what happens when you do that is you get genetically diverse crops that have learned to thrive in their local environment. And so basically that's what these farmers and gardeners have done for the past 10,000 years in order to continue having fantastic seed that produces incredible yields. And so basically 60 years ago, large corporations began to arise, and they began selecting certain crops for uniformity, size, being able to ship it. And basically the way we had to compensate for that type of inbreeding was through pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, preservatives, etc. One thing I will say is I'm not here to demonize the seed companies. I actually buy a lot of seeds from some really good seed companies, and so I'm not demonizing them one bit. I'm ultimately just trying to explain landrace gardening and how we can become more resilient by saving seeds, cross-pollinating in order to get more genetically diverse crops. So basically the goal in landrace gardening is to create genetically diverse crops that have basically rearranged their genetics to adapt to their local environment. One example of this that Joseph Lofthouse actually gives in his book is he talks about specifically when they're breeding corn. And when they were doing this specific project, they brought in a ton of different corn varieties. So they brought in a lot of different genetics, and essentially through this project over the course of 3 years, Joseph was saving every year his best corn plants. He's saving seed from the ones that were the tallest, strongest, most productive. And every year, some pheasants, raccoons, skunks would get a hold of some of his plants, and he would not save seeds from those specific corn plants. He would only save them from the ones that the pest didn't get to, essentially. And so over the course of 3 years, this corn plant, this corn seed, learned to not put out its stalks over a certain feet off the ground. So essentially, through having to adapt to its local environment, it learned that it needs to grow tall, and that also does not need to put out corn stalks above a certain level. And so essentially it got to the point where the raccoons and the skunks and the pheasants did not bother the plant because the corn stalks were so high. Something else that it also provided was corn stalks that were about at chest level, so you're not having to bend over to grab them. So this is a great example of saving seed from your best plants, crossing them with a ton of other varieties so that you can get a lot of genetic diversity. And from there, you could even do this project with a neighbor, and then your best seeds, you could interplant together and cross those plants to continue to cross the genetics and get a more robust seed and genetic makeup. So let's continue down the path of Joseph Lofthouse's example of his corn patch, to where they created a landrace corn seed. Essentially, he planted, I want to say like maybe 700 different seed varieties of corn. It was an insane amount. You're letting all of that genetic diversity cross with one another. And then essentially the plants that don't thrive, so ones that maybe pests get, you're wanting to cull those plants out. And basically culling is used a lot more within the animal agriculture realm, is animals that are maybe prone to pests or disease. You cull those animals out. If they're a problem animal or they have poor genetics, you remove them from the flock. And so it's the same idea within this specific setting. And so, you know, if one gets attacked by a raccoon, if a plant gets eaten by a raccoon or a skunk or something like that, you're going to want to remove that, because you don't want those poor genetics crossing over with the good genetics of the plants that are doing well. Another really interesting aspect that Joseph talks about in landrace gardening and what he does is he adds no amendments to his soil. He wants those plants to have to learn how to grow within the native soil without amendments, without wood chips, without expensive things like compost or any kind of pesticide, insecticide, whatever. He uses none of that. Essentially, he's wanting to plant those seeds in the native soil, and they have to learn how to be productive on that ground. So I've got a real life example here behind me of basically a monocrop of some green giants that were planted for a privacy hedge. And if we took the landrace and gardening approach to these trees, we have actually had about half of them that were infested with bagworms last year, and some of them weren't. The healthiest ones actually weren't attacked or bothered by the pest at all. And so if we were applying landrace gardening principles to this, we would never use the cuttings from those trees that were attacked by the pest of the bagworm. We would only use cuttings from the ones that are surviving and thriving amidst the pest pressure. In my next video, I'm actually going to share with y'all how to start landrace gardening, and I'm going to be sharing with you a project that I'm doing with my neighbor because we're wanting to create a squash seed that is resistant to the squash bug. And so we're going to be planting a pretty large diversity of squash plants, crossing those together, and then in our second year, we're going to take our best seeds, interplant those we're going to trade seeds, interplant those, and continue the evolution of those genetics. So stay tuned, look for my next video, and if you have found this video helpful and you want to see more of it, please click that like and subscribe button. Again, here on this channel, our goal is to give you the best tips and tools so that you, your garden, and homestead can thrive. Look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Happy growing.